welcome back to my channel. It's the Tiara Makia. Welcome if you're new, welcome back if you're returning. Thanks so much for stopping by. Today's video is going to be a customization plus application video of this 22-inch Malaysian curly, and the vendor is Wonder Girl Hair Factory on AliExpress. I just want to say that Wonder Girl reached out to me. I have done several videos for them and they custom made this wig for me, the texture and everything. I wanted something curly, so if you want to order this style, click the link below. It will take you to a different texture, but say in the notes that you want the style that Tiara had, the curly, and they will make that for you. I will link all the deets below of this hair, so if you want to see how I customize this frontal, please stay tuned. Give this video a thumbs up, like, and subscribe if you haven't already. So the hair came in a box, and every hair I've received from them has come in a nice box like this. It says Wonder Girl and it's red with care instructions on the back. In the box they sent me a stocking cap and an elastic band to sew inside the wig in case I wanted to include that. So the wig is inside of a plastic Ziploc bag, and inside the bag the hair is in a net, and inside the net the hair has some paper to kind of help keep the shape of the cap. So you can see that it has the combs inside, and I usually cut those out because I don't use them. And you can see that it's a lace frontal with baby hairs in the front, and it's also pre-plucked. This is 22 inches of Brazilian curly. The hair is so soft and it does shed a little bit, but I literally have no tangles. So I washed the hair and now I am about to customize the edges. So I'm sectioning off a thin layer of baby hairs in the front that are going to be like my edges, and I start plucking the line in between, the part in between the baby hair and the edges. Now the hair is wet, and it's important that you keep the hair wet when you're plucking because it makes it easier to see, and the hair also plucks better when it's soaking wet. So I just start plucking behind the hairline, random spots. I usually just count it through like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I pluck another section 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's kind of how I go about plucking. And I try to mimic my hairline where I know it's a little bit thinner in some areas and thicker in other areas. When I first started plucking, I started right behind the hairline, and then I went back about 1/4 of an inch, and then 1/2 inch, and then about a full inch back behind the hairline, and just making it gradual so that the hairline just doesn't start abruptly. And whenever I pluck, I take a time in between to comb out some of the loose hair so it doesn't just build up, because it starts to tangle if you do that. Here you can see I keep plucking to my liking, to what I think is a little natural, or the most natural to me. Be careful because you can over pluck, and excuse my mannequin head, it makes it a little hard to see, but you can definitely tell where I plucked in the thinner areas. So for the front of the hairline, I don't really have baby hairs there in the front of my forehead, so I just section off a thin layer where I want it to start being really thin, and I pull all those hairs out because my hairline kind of dips back further than the rest of my edges. So I just snatch all these hairs out, not with a tweezer. I just pull them all out so that the hairline goes back a little bit further and actually mimics my real hairline. So I repeat the plucking process on this front part of my hair, just I don't go as far back as I went with the edges because my natural hairline right there in my forehead doesn't go that far back with how thin my edges are, if that makes sense. Here you can see I repeat the same parting and plucking process to the other side where I will have baby hairs and edges. Here you can see all the hair that I plucked out, and that is a lot just from the edges. Wow. So now I trim my baby hairs. I leave them about 1.5 inches long, I guess, because I don't want them to be too short, but definitely not too long. And now I'm applying some mousse just so I can shape the baby hairs how I want them to lay. And I also part my hair. I do a deep side part and also apply some mousse to the part to lay it over. I usually don't do a lot of baby hairs, but I thought they would be really cute with the texture of this wig. So now I'm just taking my toothbrush and that mousse that I put on there, and I'm just kind of shaping the baby hairs how I want them to lay. And I repeat the same process to the other side. In the front where there are no baby hairs, if I had a straightening comb, I probably would have took that through it to make sure it laid super flat, but I just had to use mousse and a toothbrush. And this is what it looks like. I feel like I plucked a little too much on one side, but it looks really good. So now I just trim off the lace, kind of following the hairline and where I laid the baby hairs while it's on the mannequin. It was just easier for me to do it this way. And in the application video, you can see how I put powder on the roots and not bleach the knots because I was just being too lazy. Here you can see that there's a little bit of jaggedness to it, how I cut it, and that makes it appear a little bit more natural when you're applying it to your head. So stay tuned for the part 2 of the application video.